Hello friends, this is Lindsay for So Fontsy. Welcome back to another So Fontsy video tutorial. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you're having a fantastic day. In today's project, we are going to be working with patterned HTV. So the rule of thumb with patterned HTV is, and I hope I don't sound like a broken record here, but always read and follow the manufacturer's directions. There's a lot of different kinds out there, part of which makes it so amazing, because with patterned HTV, there's some patterns and designs that you can achieve that you might not be able to do otherwise. That's what makes it so cool. But it's not uncommon for patterned HTV to need to be treated a little bit differently than regular HTV. So what you might find is that pattern HTV will come, in a sheet, printed with that beautiful pattern on it, but that sheet won't come on a carrier sheet. So like regular HTV will come attached to that sticky, clear carrier sheet. But your pattern HTV might not. Your pattern HTV might come with something else that looks, maybe a little bit like this. It's got a backing to it, and this part is clear and it's sticky here. So it's a little bit different than regular HTV. And so there's a few things to keep in mind when you're using it and cutting it. So stay tuned for the rest of this tutorial where we're going to show you just how to do that. So stick around and we'll get started. So here's this pattern HTV that I'm using for this project. This kind does not come on a carrier sheet. And the way you're going to cut it is place it on the cutting mat of your machine with the pattern side facing up. And with patterned HTV, it's very important to remember that you do not mirror the SVG design in your design software. So don't flip it backwards, which is what you would regularly do with regular HTV. So you just want to remember that. And then, of course, you always want to do a test cut so you can get those perfect cut settings. But I found that I didn't need to adjust my cut settings from what I would normally use with regular HTV. Then after cutting, you're going to weed out the excess material around the design like you normally would. Just keep in mind that, the HTV isn't attached to a sticky carrier sheet. So it's just best to work maybe a little more carefully. But if you did get a really good cut, then it really shouldn't be a problem for you to weed just like normal. And then next, when you purchase pattern HTV, you'll find that it often comes with something called like a mask or a transfer sheet. So that transfer sheet mask, it's going to, usually be clear and sticky, and, it'll be attached to a backing so it doesn't stick to itself. And it's like a carrier sheet, and it's used to transfer the design that you cut out and weeded onto your material. So you'll go ahead and remove the backing from the mask and place it over the cut and weeded patterned HTV. And you can do this by applying the mask from either like the right side or the left side of the design and just smoothing it over the design to the other side of it. Then you'll want to take a scraping tool over the mask design just to make sure that the mask or the transfer sheet picks up the entire HTV. Then you're going to remove the backing, that static backing from the pattern HTV, and the cut and weeded design is going to be held on that sticky mask. And I like to do this by flipping the entire thing over and actually peeling off that static backing from the pattern HTV. And then I have always just tossed the static backing from patterned HTV. But if you have discovered a use for it, then please let us know in the comments. It's always nice to know how we can reuse things in our crafting. Then this HTV that's been transferred onto the mask is ready for pressing. And we're going to layer it on a piece of regular vinyl. So, check with the manufacturer about layering. Commonly, patterned HTV can be placed over regular HTV, but usually you cannot layer anything over the patterned HTV. Again, just check with the patterned HTV's directions for the heat press settings, but commonly patterned HTV is pressed the same as regular HTV. So here I'm pressing this design onto a tea towel. First we'll tack down the regular HTV with just a quick 2-second press. Then lay that patterned HTV over the top and press that for 10 seconds at 305 degrees Fahrenheit at about medium pressure. And then after pressing, just remove that mask or the transfer sheet. And you do want to be sure to save the mask or transfer sheet because you can reuse it several times to transfer other patterned HTV projects in the future. So you've heard me harp so much on making sure to check the HTV's directions before using it because wouldn't you know it, while I was doing this tutorial, I actually found this kind of pattern HTV that already comes pre-masked. So essentially already on a carrier sheet, just like regular HTV. So for this kind of patterned HTV, you don't really treat it any different than the regular kind. You're going to put it face down on your cutting mat. You are going to mirror the design, so you are going to flip it backwards, or reversed in your design software. And then as for the cut settings, I use the same cut settings as I usually would for HTV, but again, always do a test cut for that. And then as for weeding, it was exactly the same. And this Hope mandala design turned out so cool in this tie-dyed pattern HTV. So if you like this Hope mandala design or that little house that I pressed on the tea towel, you'll find both of those in the So Fontsy exclusive SVG and the font bundle. So there's a link in the video description for that. And then for pressing this patterned HTV, it was just like normal. You'll want to do a quick, 2-second pre-press to get that material nice and flat and remove any moisture. Then place the HTV on the shirts, cover with a cover sheet, and then press for 10 to 15 seconds at 305 degrees Fahrenheit at medium pressure. Then after pressing, just go ahead and remove the carrier sheet. And this t-shirt is good to go. And this tie-dye pattern with the mandala design looks so cool. And this is why patterned HTV is so much fun, because there are so many patterns out there and so much you can do. So just think of all the super cool projects that you can make with it. And there you have it, folks, working with patterned HTV. I hope you definitely don't shy away with it because it's really cool and there's so many fun things that you can do with it. So thank you so much for watching, you guys. If you like the designs that we used in this project, you'll find them in the So Fontsy exclusive font and SVG bundle. So there's a link in the video description, so be sure to check that out. And thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you have a great rest of your day and stay crafty. Bye.